Tuna wageni watatu, Mheshimiwa Sebastian Kapufi mbunge, ambao ni wadau wa maendeleo kutoka Marekani. Wadau wa maendeleo kutoka Marekani, karibuni sana.
Container packed with supplies that need to make their way to families in Africa, like yesterday. You said this is a 53-foot trailer? This trailer is packed with medical supplies destined to the motherland. We need to help get these out of here.
Coming to the stage.
Already? You already had your coffee?
I had it.
Man.
I'm ready.
Early morning shenanigans.
Oh, yeah.
Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da. No. Get this channel shut down again. You can't hum Final Countdown by Europe. You can't even mention it.
Wait, they dinged you for humming it?
No, they dinged me for those for playing more than 10 seconds of it.
Yeah, he showed out. He showed out when he played the whole video. It was like almost like, what is going on? That was crazy.
It was crazy because what? It was crazy because what happened in less than 60 days after playing that, the election cycle in the U.S. went crazy. and let me tell you, the funny thing is, so people weren't putting this together. Right after you had that crazy behind debate, which was horrible on both sides. I don't even care if you vote or not. That's just horrible on both sides, because that just shows you it's the decline of the empire.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They have Viktor Orban, president of Hungary. Number one, go to Ukraine, and then number two, go to Russia, and now he's finishing up a trip, I think, in China. That's their last ditch effort. They're trying to now avoid the war, but they can't. Whenever you go through any type of a war or a battle, whenever you have a sitting president go down, that can have some effects in terms of stability in the government. I would say here right now, if something like that were to happen, I would call it would just be pandemonium. It would be pandemonium. So with all that, yeah, no, I got my coffee. I'm not rested. I've actually been in class this week. I'm in class this week, so I'm not rested. No. It's just that I had to do my final residency for the school that I go to. And so this is why, the board stepped up, Sister Shar stepped up. They said, we are going to host this, Brother Karras, while, you get things taken care of the way you need to get things taken care of. And Sister Shar just said, as long as I write half of my book by the end of this week.
That's right. Get her done.
And I said, that's too steep. That's too much. So, yes, I would like to get rest, but I'm not allowed to get rest. Rest. What is this? What is this rest? Oh. So I'm going to turn this on over to Brother Red, because, they got a little program here. I ain't trying to mess with their thing. I ain't trying to let them do their thing. I ain't trying to mess with them.
You're so graceful for making it look like we took over your show when you.
I have to. I go into my little Google Analytics, and I gotta see how many videos did I get flagged.
I'm just saying, family, don't let him have y'all thinking that we took over. We walked into this. We didn't land on Covenant Awakenings. Covenant Awakenings.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, Well, this is Question Night Africa, and I would say this, if you haven't heard, we are building up our Question Night Africa channel, and we're gonna get more content on the channel. So if you are here, spread the word. I know a lot of our people, they want to come on just the Covenant Awakenings and nothing else. But let me tell you this. Now you see what's happening around the world, and our people see what's happening around the world. Let me tell you, their cognitive dissonance is now being shattered. Is that a fair assumption, panel? Is that a fair assumption?
Absolutely. I've been seeing mainstream folks starting to talk about the fall of the dollar, like Bloomberg and all these other big boys. You know, the ones that usually try to tell you it's fine, as the world burns around you. But even now, they're starting to catch on and start saying the real stuff.
Yeah. And it's like, I mean, when you see the end coming, you have two choices, right? It's like accept the truth for what it is, or pretend like nothing's happening, and continue finding ways to distract yourself or to numb the pain. um it's very troubling to behold.
Is it me, or does it seem like this is all, to me, it kind of seems like this. This is all right on time, right on schedule.
Mhm.
Because, I mean, look, we just had in 2021, January 2021, you had the what? You had the riots go on. 3.5 years later, 3.5 years later, now it's like here comes the controlled demolition. And now folks are saying, get ready for this dollar. This housing market's going to collapse. This dollar's in trouble. All these things are in trouble. And remember, 2021, everything was fine.
Everything was good. The economy was doing well. Everything was great. That's what they wanted you to think until the reality just kept pushing through and pushing through. They don't even realize how bad it is. They just see the thing with Russia. They don't understand that all the food reserves in America have been burned. They were burning them all back in 2022 when they were telling everybody it's okay. All the food lands is pretty much bought up by corporate folks. All the farmers have been almost shut down in America. Like I don't even think they realize how bad it is. They just see the Russian situation.
Well, and that's what I was getting at. It's always been to me a controlled demolition, right? And Sister Shar would say, in the lawyer speak, she would say it's a bankruptcy. Isn't that right, Sister Shar?
It's definitely a bankruptcy. This
Mhm.
is definitely a bankruptcy when you consider China being one of the largest creditors of this place. And their credit score got dropped in what, 2019? The credit score dropped.
Mm-hmm.
There began to be all of this back-to-back noise in presidential cabinets about defaulting because they were not raising the debt ceiling. You're raising the debt ceiling to pay the minimum balance. Like, this is what's been going on. Then you start hearing that China is seizing or owning all of these lands here. It's like a liquidation. You don't have any value in your currency that we want. You owe us a lot of money you'll never be able to repay. And we want our stuff. We want to manage your books. We want to see how you're running things. We want to collect where we can collect. That began back in 2015, 2016. A
Yes, it
big
was.
IRS campaign cleaning up the books, because anybody who has worked in any type of governmental agency, be it state or federal, you know how long it takes to reconcile the books. You they'll sit up there, you'll get a letter from the government saying, oh, we just found out that you owe us $40,000. Like that, they're not on top of their books. China has been examining the books. China has been acquiring land here. And here at Question Night Africa, one thing that we have learned with certainty is that foreigners coming in and purchasing land in another country, it's not easy to do that.
Hmm.
You don't just get to go into somebody else's country and buy up land.
Unless it's America.
Well, America owes everybody money.
It's not called the Great War for no reason. Everything in America is for sale. That whole situation down here in Florida with DeSantis and Disney, it came to a head, and DeSantis came down there and removed all the board's members that were favorable to Disney and replaced them with his own because he wanted to take over that land. So as they started digging in and take over the land, they found this old provision that said Disney is actually owned by the English crown. And they have a law set in place that says that the land that Disney owns will be theirs as long as there is a descendant of Charles III still living. And if there has been 80 years after the death of one of the last descendant of Charles III, then the land can go back to America. What? So basically, Disney rules the middle of Florida, and there's nothing that nobody can do nothing about it. What? America is for sale. The Bible doesn't call it the great whore for nothing. They also sold. They have different places next to the bases China bought. China also owned some of the food factories. That was some of the reason why those factories are shutting down. China was just shutting them down. One of the biggest meat factories in America was owned by China, and they shut it down, I think, 2 years ago.
Smithfield's hams. I found out about that a couple years ago. That's owned by China.
Good
riddance. What?
Yeah, Smithfield hams. Yeah. Like, what? Yeah.
Insane.
You can look it on up.
Yeah, like follow the money and you see, the hand of power. Who running stuff?
I mean, it should show you where the state of America's financial position is, because you got to realize all the people that run the CEOs and stuff, these are the noble class of America. And when Xi Jinping came last year to visit in California, they cleaned the city up. Now, literally, this is a city where they had human poop all on the sidewalks and everything. They cleaned all that up, moved all the homeless people out, and all the CEOs came down there to meet Xi Jinping and paid money to see him speak.
Yep.
And the president couldn't even come see Xi Jinping in his own nation. He had to ask permission. He couldn't just even come down there and see him. So that should let you know already the position of where America is at, where another man can come in your country and your people pay money to see him, and you got to ask permission to see him in your own country.
And it's, to me, the thing that's so interesting is like I'm sure they could have found somebody better to put into that office to look like strength, to play the role of strength and authority. But they chose this weak, old, decrepit, senile man. And it's almost like an open display of the demotion. It's almost like it's like a mockery. I don't know. You could
exactly it.
Pretend to make it, put on a good face of strength. That they're not even trying.
You don't think it's strong to fall upstairs and survive?
Crazy.
I thought that was always, you fall up the stairs. That's to show strength.
That's right.
What do they say?
Anybody can fall down.
What do they say in a fight? It's not how many times my fist hits your hand. It's how many times my head hits your fist that tells that I'm winning.
Exactly. I often too took Biden as a symbol of America's decline, because it's like, this man can't even complete sentence. It's honestly elder abuse at this point. It's like, bro,
it is elder abuse. Like, that looks crazy. What about the cover story about all of the visits from the neurologist to the White House?
Yeah, that was funny. I saw some of that earlier. Nothing to see there.
He just came by for some coffee. That's all. White House has really good coffee.
We're here to see Jill and Hunter. Those who need it the most. Oh my goodness!
He was making sure Hunter survived his previous night's partying activities.
or the Narcan treatment.
Yeah.
We resuscitated him. Now we need to make sure that he's all there.
like from Pulp Fiction, he just came in there with the needle, and jab him in his heart full of adrenaline to get him up and going for the day.
Oh, my goodness. That's horrible.
I wouldn't put it past them because the way that man, he's still standing. It's interesting. How are y'all accomplishing this? You know, like what kind of robotic parts did y'all attach to him? Something.
He's literally doing the nursing home shuffle.
Yes, it is. Jill is guiding him like a nurse would.
For real.
Yeah, you answered all the questions. I'm so proud of you.
Oh,
what?
Somebody's getting some pudding.
And if you go through these questions tomorrow, you can get your favorite Jell-O. What?
And if you say all your words clearly, we'll get you ice cream.
Yeah.
It's sad. I'm sorry. It's funny. It's sadly funny. It's crazy. This is crazy. Like the fact that this is actually happening in our lifetime. It's like I'm still struggling to actually like. I feel like cleaning my glasses. Like, am I seeing this? Am I seeing this correctly?
Mm-hmm.
Had you told me what 5 years ago, no 6 years ago, that this is the state America would be in, I would be like, nah, dog, come on, that fast. I mean, it's been a rapid decline. Like 2020 was a nosedive from Afghanistan to all the stupid printing of money that they did. Like everything is just like nosediving right now. And
exactly.
It's just insane to see how it all is just coalescing. Meanwhile, Russia is gathering allies because he's made his Asian tour, topped it off with India. So you already see what's happening. I mean, it's literally the word is coming to pass. The 10 horns came together and betrayed the whore. And now we see NATO starting to look a little shaky. You know, France has been dallying around with BRICS on 2 sides. And you've had just about everybody in NATO come against the, you know, our Balfour Agreement folks over there. So prophecy is shaping up. It's very interesting to watch. I truly never thought I'd see it in my lifetime too. It's crazy.
Yep. Yes, this is a dangerous time to have a mindset of business as usual.
You cannot go about business as usual the way you do things. That's why we, at Q2UA, that's why pretty much we're focusing and doing the way we're doing, because it's a saying that I say all the time. Even the rats can see when the ship is sailing. They don't set up a nest on a sinking ship. They get out there and they move and they look for greener pastures. Mm-hmm. And, if the animals got common sense, what's wrong with humans to see the ship sailing and still be like, oh, I'm just going to sit here. I'm just going to buy more land in America and I'm just going to sit here and wait and everything will be fine. I can't. That's not even logical. That's the Most High is the Most High of logic, and that is not even logical. Why would you stay in a sinking ship? He's literally stirring it up so that we can get out of here.
Yep, doubling down on the foolishness, and I'm curious, and if anybody knows, I'd be interested in learning more. Has anyone else been noticing like these different messaging campaigns about government programs that pay you a certain amount of money each month kind of thing? It started about 2 years ago. I began noticing ads saying, hey, there's a government program that covers all of your medical payments and each person is entitled to about this much. Fill out the application, see if you qualify. I'm interested in knowing whether or not they've been rolling out a UBI program, right? Kind of staging the total control for folks that's not paying attention. Like, oh, great, a check. Let's get it.
They started that in 2020 with that whole $1,400 a month they was giving people, and they kept doing it over and over. That's what really started a lot of this hyper spending. Why a lot of people are in bad situations now, because instead of saving that money, they used it for foolishness. But they started that way back then, and even now, it's like you're right, because I got a thing in my mail talking about my old student loans, and I guess I'm still on their meeting list, on that email list, and they're like, "Oh, the government is sending out a program to help you with your loans."
Yeah, it's interesting to me because it's like if you control how I pay my bills and how I feed myself, then you control me. And it's the whole handout. It's the handout hustle that always has me a little concerned. The government don't just give you anything. There's always some conditions. There's always some fine print, and so they also started making these rebate payments, right? They were calling them rebates back in 22. They were making rebate payments. And then it almost seemed like it was a cover story for why businesses were failing, why, people weren't going to work anymore. But, we were sitting and watching. We know that people were taking L's from the lollipop. We knew that, there were just kind of like fewer people to show up to work. And so, and so they used it also as a cover story, propaganda to explain to us all of these reorganizations of the business or the marketplace, why companies were changing their business model. And to me, I always wondered, are they staging the justification for your burger place, your burger joint? You don't have humans in the kitchen anymore. You have a robotic kitchen. Is this the pretext? Is this let's get those low wage earners onto a subsidy where they don't feel like they have to work because we're paying them as much as they would make in a 40-hour work week at minimum wage. And then when they're not showing up to work, put pressure on the corporations to innovate, because that's what businesses do when they realize that conditions have changed. They have to innovate, right? So if the innovation, the next logical answer is going to be AI or robotics, here's the answer. We didn't have a workforce. So we had to upgrade the technology of our business to meet our, to stay alive. Meanwhile, you have human beings, and the people tell you they call us useless eaters.
Yes.
So you put the useless eaters on the welfare check, and you put the robots in control. And in the moment during the transition, it seems convenient. It seems great. It seems proper.
Until that red light starts shining on them robots. And then you'll be like Will Smith and I Robot.
It's like for me, it just feel like that kind of setup, and I don't know. I'm like, I'm trying to put my gamer brain on, Brother Red. Like,
no, it's the perfect setup. I mean, you got to look at it. This is why people lose, because they've trained us to be so short-sighted. This is a plan that has been spanning decades. They've been planning this since the 70s and the 80s. That was the foundation for what we're seeing right now. When you go back and you look at how they changed our culture from a family-based one to one of consumerism. And by putting in this consumerism, now it's like, okay, we're allowing them to have businesses, but we're going to want to put them in check. So now we got to put things in place. And now you have the stock market. The stock market is the ultimate check and balances of your business. A good point of that is with the Monster Company. That company that used to be was actually a family-owned bottling company. And they were around for years. And then when Coca-Cola and Pepsi came out, they were having a hard time hanging with them. Then they made this one product, and it was doing well, and they were basically competing. But Pepsi and them have that old family money behind them, so they can expand much more readily. So they needed more money to expand. So what did they have to do? They went and they put their money and they put their business onto the market, because now that way they can gain some capital so that way they can upgrade their factories to hang with Pepsi and Coke. While that worked in the short term, in the long term, those big wigs came in and bought them out and bought the company from up under them. Same thing that happened with Jobs. It was his company, him and Wozniak. They opened it up, boom, they come in and buy you out. And this happens all the time. It happens all the time where these smaller companies will come in and they'll try to hang. But once you get to a certain level, the big boys absorb you. And it's happening even the more now. They're absorbing everything. So you still have the small businesses. So you know you can't make them close. You can't do anything overtly to make them close. That'll cause people to riot and turn against you. What do? Oh, you do a pretense. Oh, there was a disease. We had no choice. Everybody has to stay home. But certain people can be allowed because they're necessary. So you can't have your hair store, ma'am, but the liquor store next to you can stay open because that's necessary.
That helps us control you when we take your mind.
Yes.
Look, anything that takes your mind, it can stay in business.
Exactly. Anything that gives you, we're not going to see. They understand if you give them food and circus, they'll never revolt. So yeah, it sucks for them being at home, but at least they can go home and get drunk and high, because the weed stores also were not allowed to, were allowed to stay open. So it's so funny that, we had to close all these other stores, but this store, a marijuana store and a liquor store is allowed to be open.
It's so true. And I noticed an explosion of vape shops around here, like in little, hoity-toity USA. I'm like, what's up with all the...
They're getting ready for the legalization. They're getting ready. I talked to a dude at one of them shops and asked, why are so many shops opening? Because I was curious. I'm like, is there some money in there or something? What's going on? And he was like, they're getting themselves ready, because once it goes legal, you can convert your vape shop into a whole marijuana shop and start making money. So they see the thing is coming, and that's why you're seeing all of them pop up this much, because they've been allowing this to happen. Because again, appease your populace. Keep them. They're going to be stressed out. Let them get high. It's a pressure. Let them get drunk. Keep pushing foolishness about the sexual foolishness. Let them indulge themselves in foolishness while you still cook your plan and keep moving. And that's what they've been doing. The ratchetness has been going up to it's absolute disgusting, the stuff that you can hear on the radio now. I remember when the songs on the radio sounded totally different from the songs on the CD. Now, it's just darn near the same thing. You can hear it all. It's all disgusting. Everything on TV is disgusting. There's all these distractions to not make people pay attention to the fact that the government has come in. It has taken away your ability to make money. It has taken away your ability to move. Don't think these planes are coming down for no reason. They want to put fear in people so you don't go flying, so you don't move around. They want to lock you down and be your sole provision, and they're doing it slowly by incrementing from all of these different sides. It's like a death by 1,000 cuts. They keep moving and moving and moving. Now you even have certain publications coming out and saying, is the First Amendment all it's cracked up to be? The First Amendment allows hate speech. Oh, the First Amendment can sometimes allow hate speech. Maybe some speech should be banned. So now they're getting ready to come for how you talk. And pretty soon they're going to put chips in your head and come for how you think. This is the incremental move into slavery, the ultimate slavery that they've been planning.
Ultimate slavery. And
ultimate slavery.
It is interesting, when you talk about controlling, keeping your pleasure centers in business, right? Your alcohol, whatever kind of substance you want to put in your body. I mean, heck, you can even say the fast food is a drug, right? And so you have these places or these businesses that are actually keeping you sedated to your condition. And I noticed about 8 years ago, especially here in Atlanta, there are several global corporations, international corporation headquarters, like Home Depot, UPS, and Mercedes-Benz, just to name a few. And it kind of hit me with the stadiums, right? Because Mercedes-Benz Stadium here, it's not that old. Maybe it's been around 10 years. And I'm looking at this thing, and I'm looking at the symbol, the logo, right? And I'm like, wait a minute. This thing is a principality. This principality is it owns a chunk of the city of Atlanta. It's a principality, just like Coca-Cola is a principality of Atlanta. And these are some of the largest employers, the corporate employers. And what really, really hit me specifically about Mercedes-Benz, because of my proximity to Mercedes-Benz, when they built their world headquarters here in Atlanta, on the same campus of the corporate building, they built housing. And I was like, huh, this is like a little serfdom.
A little city, yep.
Yeah.
Google has the exact same thing. So did Yahoo at its peak, and so did AOL.
It's the same. It's the same serf system. You are the principality. All of your serfs live on your land, and they work for you, and they build your wealth and your power in your principality.
These cities fight to have these corporations come in for that reason right there, because they'll bring in like basically a little mini city.
Yes. And you know, from the outside looking in, like if you're not thinking about it on that level, it's like, oh, that's nice. They put up some nice apartments over there.
I might see if I can get a job there so I can go stay in there. Basically saying, ingratiate yourself to this Lord in hopes of favor.
It's a Lord. It's a Lord.
It's the same thing that they used to do. The knights did with the fiefdom. The knights, the great warriors, would come and ingratiate themselves to lords and fight for them in exchange for land and power. And it's the same thing that they do now, except we don't get land. We just get a job.
We get a job, or we get some benefits. We get some insurance.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. You can pay a little bit less than others. Shoot, some of them even let you, since you're going to be at the job all day, every day, they even give you the rooms to take naps in and give you lunch, so you never have to leave the kingdom.
Oh man, some of the cafeterias on these compounds,
ridiculous.
They throw down.
And these tech companies, that some people go there alone, they have they'll be like a mall cafeteria in there. You have a Starbucks inside the building.
Yes. Never have to leave. Your time belongs to us, and we're making it pleasurable for you to give us all of your time.
See, what people don't understand.
Remember Sister Fatea was telling us about the that new policy for women.
The one that lets them leave for basically any ailment that they have that's woman related, basically.
Any female related struggles, medical struggles, now provide like almost this impenetrable protection where you can go to your employer and ask for a reasonable accommodation. So what Sister Fatea was sharing with us, she was saying like if a woman has a painful period and she asks for the accommodation of being able to work remotely because of her condition, all she has to do is have her doctor certify that this is what her problem is. And because it's female related, the employer must give her the accommodation that she's asking for. And the more I thought about it, I was like, wait a minute now. You know, this type of rule on a small business that depends on you being physically present at work, that'll shut a small business down.
Exactly. Since the first plan didn't shut down all the small businesses, some of them could still survive, and some of them were a little bit bigger that aren't owned by these super big businesses. Now they're coming for them next.
Now they're coming for the little man.
Because now it's going to make it so, we're not going to hire women. And now they're all going to get embroiled in this, are you going to get canceled? And then notice how they set it up first. They made this big campaign like they were supporting women, like they're helping women. We're going to get y'all in. And they were letting these women, some of these women weren't even qualified for the stuff that they were getting allowed into. But just because you were a woman, they were going to let you in. They gave them this blind support. Then they create this provision that on the surface looks great, but it's a poison pill designed to basically tear down the very people they've been lauding up so much. Because what employer in his right mind would hire a woman if he knew he had to do all this stuff? Why would you put her in a pivotal position that is requiring you to invest a lot of time when she could all of a sudden at no time just come up and say, I want to leave, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can't fire her. You can't replace her. You just got to deal and pay her.
Right. And it actually has less procedural requirements than FMLA has. But like how Sister Patea she's in that human resources realm, that's kind of like her lane in terms of the understanding that she has about the workplace. And when she was explaining it to us, she's like, yeah, it doesn't even have as many procedural requirements as FMLA. It's that liberal in its application, and employers, they're going to be facing lawsuits if they don't just do what this woman is asking for when she presents a doctor's note. Mm-hmm. It's almost like, well, if you missed a day of school, how you had to get an excuse absence, you had
to bring that doctor's note.
Yes, it's that liberally constructed, and there's even some some fighting going on about it because of transgender females are excluded. It's a hot mess. It's like, if you are a cis female with these female medical needs, then this law provides for you. So it's lawlessness stacked on top of lawlessness. With now, how is this equal protection under the law? I don't know how they're going to sort that one out. It is a mess.
It is, and there's already some lawyers, some men have gathered some lawyers to challenge it. I'm quite sure they're business owners, of course, and they're just using this, it's unfair to men as a way to get the rule possibly thrown out. Like, it's a mess, but it just shows that this is what they're trying to do. They're whittling the power out of the hands of the people. But what are they whittling at? They're whittling at the businesses. What we don't understand and what we fail to see is the businesses are the new noble class of this day. The businesses are the new fiefdoms. They are the new rulers of the day. Why do you think all the CEOs went to see Xi Jinping and he went to see them? Because he understood that that's where the real power lies. He didn't care about coming and seeing any of the politicians. He came to see the businessmen. Because that is who have been coming to him and dealing with him. Intel is an American business. Do you know where their first fabrication factory was created? In China. The United States has no modern facility that can hang with any of the other facilities. They're building one now, but it's $2 too late. They can take claims like, we have the most advanced chips. No, Taiwan has the advanced chips. Taiwan is the only one on the planet right now in the realm that can make the smallest, I think they're 3 nanometer chips and stuff that they need for these high-end chips. They're the only ones that do it. This is why that Taiwan situation is so volatile and why they keep trying to play the games with them over there, because they literally, NVIDIA, which is a Taiwanese company that makes graphics cards, they're the only thing holding the stock market up right now. If NVIDIA were to disappear off the stock market will be below a crash. NVIDIA is literally the only thing holding it up right now with those AI chips and all the money that they're making off of doing that. That's it.
Wow.
That's it. It's America is at an impasse because its businesses have long left. I worked at a business that they were an American company and they dealt with power plants. We had inside access to power plants. Now they have 2 separate systems inside there, but you're literally one system shy of getting into the deeper systems of that power plant. That was a company that got bought out by an Indian company. How in the world is an American company that's dealing with American power structure owned by India?
That's crazy. It's crazy.
We get our stuff for our power grid from China. We don't keep stock of this stuff. I talked to somebody, they asked them, an engineer, I'm like, do we keep this stuff in stock? No, they don't keep it in stock. If a part goes, they order it. So they have to get it from China.
Who can do all manner of evilness against you on the back door.
That certainly is true. I actually, when I was working earlier last year, that was one of the things that the company that I was working with as the energy supply company, I asked that question to him. I said, "So where do you get these supplies from?" They said they had to outsource them. They don't make anything. They get it, and basically they're secondary retailers. Same for Florida Power and Light. They don't make any type of equipment here in the United States. Or if they do, it's very, very limited. Everything that's made is made overseas to
So they
support the
moved all
grid.
of the manufacturing to where it can be produced the cheapest. They shifted us over to a service-based economy, which is an economy tied to exchanging your time for dollars. And then they began to transition service to India. You know, India's economy is rising because of the service sector.
Yes, big time.
So what does that leave for the workers, the labor force of this place? If you don't have manufacturing and then your service jobs are getting scaled back, that only leaves really government work. What I'm trying to figure out is what other industry is available for the labor force?
Well, they said that their fastest growing jobs in the job creation is government. That's no jobs. Because all you're doing in government, you're not going by a job. You're not going on out on usajobs.gov and you're finding a job. If you get a job on usajobs.gov, every job on out there that's sourced out there, it just means that you were either a private contractor that is then being hooked up by the supervisor and they tell you the key words so it can get on their desk. So then they go through the interview process. It's a winnowing out. It's artificial. So what that literally means is the job that the contractor has at like is now going to be a GS, 9, 10, or 11. But so if you want your job, you need to sign up because we don't have the contracting dollars anymore. And this is how 5 people have to vie for one job. And, it's the person that the people like the most that they've told them, "Nah, you're going to get the job."
But even with that, Brother Karras, it's like if that's the largest employer that's left in your economy, and
It always implodes.
Yeah, but and if they want to come back and roll out some more mandatory lollipops, what are you going to do?
Yeah,
everything will be under the auspice of the government. You will no longer have private citizens. You'll have everybody under the window of the government, but the government itself will be just a figurehead controlled by the corporations in the background, as it always has been. The government has always been controlled. George Bush, the first thing he did was make it so bankruptcy no longer gets rid of all your credit card debt and whatnot. Is it any wonder he did that when his biggest backers were Visa, Master, and American Express and all the Visa card companies? All this company, the very nature of what do they call it? What's it when they come around and they hit the politicians up for favor for laws. What's that?
Lobbyists.
Lobbyists. Yes, that's it. The fact lobbying exists should show you they have private meetings with elected officials to enact laws. Like, that shouldn't even be allowed. You're not an elected official. Why do you have the ability to make laws? There's organizations that come up that create these law templates, quote unquote, for governments, and they cover all the different verticals, and the ones who board these organizations are all the different companies that have special interests in these different things. Case in point, a Core Civic which is the largest prison owner in America, used to. They used to be called Correction Centers of something of America, CCCA, but they changed their name when they got outed because they sat on the board of this company that was making laws for prisons, for prisoners and stuff like that. They were making laws for justice, like justice reform. Well, you're a private prison. Isn't that a conflict of interest by you being on this board making laws? Like when you make laws that make your prisons get filled more easier,
exactly.
Like this place has been run by corporations. Stuff that we think is federal, stuff that we think is the government has all been private interest. It is businesses and business that has been driving all of this mess from the beginning.
Exactly. Evil Corp.
OCP. We're about to have RoboCops for real. Did you see that one? Did you see that one article where it said like these Chinese robots are gonna have like lab-grown humanoid brains in them?
Don't.
See, I can believe it though. I can believe it. What better way? Because a neural network reproduces our brain. Your brain is literally nothing but just a big organ that generates electrical signals. So if you could artificially grow a brain and keep it, going, I could see you programming it to a certain level and controlling machinery. It's not impossible.
That is disgusting.
They were literally remote controlling a pig with a controller on TV. Elon Musk, he had his folks with that Neuralink in the brain. They were using a controller that you would use for like an RC plane or a car, and she was moving the controller, and the pig's leg was just a wiggling. All was out of the pig's control.
Yep. This is wickedness. This is like the kind of stuff why, like how the Most High was like, I need to flood this place and just destroy all of them. There's no bottom. There's no bottom to their wickedness. Like they imagine deeper and deeper depths of wickedness. Like what?
But when you understand the nature of who you're dealing with, a lot of times if you look at what they do and look at how they conduct things, they always do stuff with a control mechanism. The Most High don't have to control us. He could. He literally could control everybody and everything. He's the source of it all. He could have us all ruling under his thumb with an iron thumb and making us do what he do with no choice at all. He could literally right now snatch all of our minds and have us doing what we're doing, and we'd be none the wiser. He could do that, but he doesn't. Because he is benevolent as a ruler. He's like, I want you to choose me. I want you to come willingly. These fallen ones and the enemy, they don't care. They will make you and force you and break your will and get you to do that. This is the way of a demonic path, to force a person to go in and force them into doing your control. And that's what they're doing. They're setting up all this benevolency. They're setting up all this stuff while at the same time tearing down any shelter that you could run to. So now the only choice that you have is going to go to the government, because no other businesses other than the ones chosen to rule will be allowed to run. This is why they're attacking businesses. This is why they're doing the law with what they're doing. This is why for the past years they've been allowing all of the, they've been thinking, this has been a women empowerment. And it's not saying that women can't do the job at all. Not actually true at all. There are definitely women out there that can do the job. But the problem is they've been promoting women that have no skills, no talent whatsoever. And they've been doing this to poison the water. They've even been doing it. We see it already with the white men. How they've been doing that. Like they be pushing them in and putting them in situations that a lot of folks are just not qualified for. And they're getting the cold out too. They're going to call all of these folks that think that they got it made, because even if they got $1 million businesses, they are going to cold them unless they bow the knee and follow them and their program.
I love red rants. Am I the only one family that loves a red rant? Like, Brother Red, you just went in on like 5 different, like really profound connections. And
Red, all I could think of was that scene in RoboCop 3 where RoboCop is flying around. That's Red. Red's in RoboCop 2. He's fighting OCP. He's fighting the corporation, the corporate masters. Man,
I learned to look. My vision to see things got a lot higher when I joined Q2UA. And really, and I'm not kissing his butt or nothing like that either, because I always say that I give credit where credit's due. Brother Karras, God's given Brother Karras an amazing view of the world. He's given him a far-reaching vision. And by seeing how he viewed things, I adjusted my view to see things. And it's like, dang, now you can see things way further out. I'm not saying I can do it on his level. And I never read that. I just learned recently how to do stuff like this. Brother Karras be saying some stuff. I'm like, I never even thought about it like that, because you have to understand the enemy. When you understand the enemy, then you can understand how things go. See, our problem is we go off of what we think. We go off of how we think. We got to understand our enemy is demonic and evil. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it takes some brothers that just had to look into the void and stare, and with the grace of the Most High, we came back with our brains intact, a little scrambled.
A little.
A little scrambled. I know sometimes I can sound raving mad. Especially when I just go in and I'm saying all this stuff that don't seem like it goes together, but all of this stuff is linked, and this is how they get us, because our view is so short.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
I mean, Red, do you want to tell them about your the business that name that I wanted you to set up as your consultancy name?
Nah.
You don't want to. Oh man, listen, look, Red. I was thinking the logo too, where it's like a big stick of dynamite exploding with computer peripherals. Or the dynamite having a computer on it, man. Oh, that would have been great. Short fuse technologies. Oh, that would have been great.
Oh, that is not bad. I ain't gonna lie.
Dang, Brother Karras, you know Brother Red like that. Brother Red just gave you a shout out on your international
It's all good.
Swirlogy. What was the word you came up with? Swirlogy?
The art of the swirl.
Yeah, the way the international policy outlook, right? It's super important for our people. And if it weren't for that, bringing us all together here to see, how these prophetic connections implicate us and how we can move together, we would not have discovered how much evil has been perpetrated on the continent for the sole purpose of preventing business ownership there. We would have never known. We would have been sitting here thinking that, it's like it is here, right?
Well, man. Well, I want to piggyback off of that, because let me tell you, I was talking to Winston last night. Brother Winston is he is a CPA in Atlanta, and he helps us in a couple of our projects. He's currently in Ghana, and when I tell you he's on the ground, and he said something interesting. He said, "Yeah, the West is scrambling because Burkina Faso has a leader who woke up, and President Ibrahim Traore, and he said this, and he said, and the people of the country all woke up too, all together."
I love it.
Yeah. And he said this, and he's calling out the puppets of these governments as house slaves. I said, did he just use a diasporan
lovely
colloquial term?
Yes.
He sure did.
He called him a house slave?
He called them Sambos.
I'm gonna have to ask the Burkinabes we work with.
I love it. Remember
does our man own Django?
Hey, but Brother Karras, didn't we induct Winston into the diaspora. Remember, we hazed him.
And he got that haze, and then he woke up. He said, "I can see. I can see."
We made him one of us.
I get it now. I get it. Man, listen, I'm telling you, y'all don't even understand. Africa's not asleep anymore.
Mm-mm.
Hallelujah.
Do you all see what's happening in Kenya right now, today? They're not playing. They want Ruto out. Because why? Because that's the West.
Mm-hmm.
They're not playing anymore. No, we're having control of our own stuff.
Period. That's it. And they're not playing this game anymore. They're starting to realize and see the lies that come from the West and what comes from taking the West money. And they're starting to say the biggest thing now is basically saying Africa for Africans. That's what I've been hearing the most out of it. Every person, whether it's a news channel or an independent news channel, they've all been saying Africa for Africans.
And that's why business ownership is the link, right?
Yes, it is.
So if you're going to deal with the policy issue on the ones who's been sitting up there taking the welfare in exchange for keeping the people asleep and hungry, then the bridge to building up after you've dealt with that level of corruption is your wealth creators, your business owners, your innovators, your visionaries, your job creators. That's the link.
Here's something that I want a lot of our people to appreciate here. Part of this whole thing for the Q2UA fundraising week, this isn't just about what we do here in the United States. This is about what we do on the continent, because what we do on the continent far surpasses anything that you can even think or imagine. Because let me tell you this, the message is being heard by our brothers and sisters on the continent now more than ever, louder and clearer. I thought Mike was going to be on. Mike was going to be providing some things, because he is constantly on the phone. He's constantly talking to folks. He's constantly reaching on out, because here's the thing. They don't want to do business with any other group of people.
They don't.
Mm-mm.
They don't. And that's why we have to figure out how to heal together. We got to figure out how to deal with each other, how to talk to each other, how to make adjustments for our differences. It's such a difference. Even on, that, he heard.
I talked about money. I talked about money, and Mike showed up. Mike was right on cue. Mike was Mike felt that money. He got that shiver down his spine.
Nah, it's no coincidence that we talked about the businesses coming in and being like this, because that's what we've been focusing on all this week, is talking about how business is important and building business in Africa is important, because as we've been saying, business clearly is bigger than what we have been led to believe. Mm-hmm. And when you are sitting in a position of business, you have the ability to do things. So it is important that this is why they've taken us out of the business market. That's why they made the barrier of entry so high. Because if you had a bunch of Hebrews working in the neighborhood, owning their own small businesses, that whole neighborhood could change. And then next thing you know, you got another Toso on your hands. And they can't have that. They can't have that.
When I introduced it was a topical plan I introduced. And I was talking to the board about it. I said, this is how we do this plan. This is how we work this plan. It was funny. I introduced the plan, and then we were working with the country that we're working with now, and everybody could see how everything was tying together.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, shout out to our medical team. Shout out to our logistics team. Shout out to our cultural engagement. It all works together
Yes.
because everything that we do is literally interconnected. We just didn't know that.
Yep.
Because why? Because we weren't told. We weren't trained. We were told, here's the biggest lie we're told. You can do it by yourself. No, you can't. When you look at all of the wealth and prosperity and all the folks that have taken everything to new heights of income generation and things of that nature, you want to know, here's Sister Shar, she'll tell you this. She's been harping on this. Matter of fact, she's in the class on this. Nothing that you do, nothing that we do gets done unless we talk and we network with one another. When I was in my class, because I'm gonna have to wrap this on up because I gotta get some things. But when I was in my class yesterday, they had one of the professors come on in. They were the program leader for the doctorate of education. I'm doing my doctorate in business. But they were saying this: you are banking on the relationships that you establish within the conferences that you go to, within the meetings that you go to. Because why? Because your networking may be fruitful in 10, 15 years, but it's the idea and the concept that we reach on out to people. Let me tell you this. When I was there at FOSSO days, I was able to coordinate with a genealogist out of Nebraska. I was able to coordinate with a person that manufactures solar panels. We just sat in on that. Red, was that not extraordinary?
Man, that was ridiculous. The Most High is literally making every crooked way straight. when folks say, "Oh, I'm waiting on the Most High, waiting on the Most High," you got to move sometimes. You got to move. The Most High wants you to move and make some steps forward too, because He is gonna. Once you start moving and showing Him the trust that, okay, I have no idea where I'm going. I have no idea where my destination is. But like Abraham, my forefather before me, I'm going to just move. When you show the Most High that level of trust, He gonna make all your ways straight. He gonna put everything together. This is why this coordination that we got going on is like just so amazing. Just as Brother Kara said.
Yes.
Because we have the talent, and Sister Shar would say, we have the brain trust here. We have the brain trust that you can contact any one of us on the board. We may not know all the answers, but guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna use our resources over the course and the period of time that has been established to get that answer for you. Oh, we're going to get you that answer. It may take a week or so, right? We got to deal with our brothers and sisters on the continent, so expect delays.
Hey, Brother Karis, the
yes.
brain trust. Everyone in Q2UA is brilliant.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Everyone. Mm-hmm.
Yes, they are. Look. Red was talking to me. There's a project that was under wraps with some of our Q2UA folks. And when I met with them in Atlanta 2 weeks ago, man, I'm gonna tell you, all I could do was just smile and see the Most High moving and His people, because we're coming on out and we're providing the innovative spaces. Oh, I think Mike had to drop. He may have some issues.
Yeah, that internet.
Mm-hmm. We have some powerhouses in our community. Like, we have been beat down so long that we began believing our captors that we're nothing. That their paycheck is more valuable than our brilliance. Our people are diamonds gold. We are brilliant.
Yes.
This community is packing power like I sometimes I just want to cry when I see how huge the potential, the untapped potential of each and every one of our people has sat here and listened to the lies and then begin to believe the lies and then to begin to operate out of this defeatedness that the enemy wants us to maintain, because when we get together and operate in our giftedness, unstoppable. Nothing would be denied us. You talk about the Tower of Babel. The Most High said they get on the same page. There is nothing they can imagine that they cannot have.
That's right. And it don't matter how much they beat us down, because they try to make us weary. They try to make us beat us down. If they couldn't beat us down physically with the whip, what makes you think now that they can just beat us down morally and emotionally? They've allowed us to think that we are stuck in these anxieties and these stressors and stuff. That's only because we focus on the wrong thing. When we change our focus from their material nonsense, their vapid desires that they've put inside of us that amount to nothing, and when we put our desires back on kingdom matters, that beat upness goes away, because the strength of the Most High will start to carry you the rest of the way. And speaking to what Sister Shar said, the way that we have so many people around us, one brother that I wanted to talk about today was Coach Mike Roebuck. He talk about brilliant.
Yeah.
I love talking with Coach, man. brilliant man.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant mind. And he literally created this system that he's coined open source education. It's so ridiculously intelligent. I'm like, dude, that's crazy. He essentially took homeschooling and made it like open source. So basically, he has a platform that he created where parents, the ones teaching the kids, not these little purple-haired weirdos that want to dress up in the opposite sex's costume and read to your kids filth and nastiness. You as the parent with a mind based on Yah, and all the educated men and women that we have that know about education can come together and create custom packages to properly educate children. You can educate the kids from within your house, so you don't have to send them out to the filth that they have going on in these streets. This is why the Most High gave us this brilliance, so that we can be in the midst of this nonsense and not have to hold our head down. We can lift our heads up and make ourselves a way to get away from this foolishness. He's given us the pathways to move away. We always say that, we got to wait on the Most High. He's like he's going to send angels. No, he's giving us the ability. He has given us the talent. We just have to trust him and walk with him, and he will lead everything straight. And that's what this brother is doing. That's what all of our business owners are doing. And I'm going to share his link in the chat to his classroom. He's looking for beta testers, and he wanted some folks to come in and join the platform to basically put it through his paces. And he's got a whole program set up to, get you guys going in and set up. He's got a help system and everything. He's real active with his site, and he's active with that. So once you sign up and get in contact with him, he'll get in contact with you back. And this is the true goal and the purpose that the Most High has placed within the founders with Brother Karras and Uncle Mike of Q2UA, that has basically come down into all of us, that we've united our desires. And it is the uniting of the business class of not America, of the Hebrews in America. So that we come together with one purpose. It's time out for this, little I and everybody get mine. It's time for us to come together and do some real group economics.
Yes, my brother Roebuck is he has a beautiful mind.
Yeah. And think about that. If he can develop that for his site, his design, his goals in education, what makes you think that he can't help you? This is all we're here to do. We're here to help each other. Can we not help each other? Absolutely we can. This is what this is all about. We never really truly understood or appreciated the power of networking within ourselves. Let's just face it, we never did.
we never did, or we bought into the lie of integration.
Yes. Yep.
We were so busy feeling that we were going to race to the top through integration that all of a sudden it would be better for us. Because even here in Atlanta, the historic district where Atlanta was booming with Black businesses, the place is desolate now. Because we were racing to the suburbs to be accepted into the economy of integration. To our own demise, we abandoned ourselves. Now, of course, there is a lot to be said about us doing business, because there are some lessons to be learned from other cultures who have a more efficient and a more respectful business model when it comes to your time and making sure that expectations are met. I'll be the first to say there are certain counties here in Atlanta where the government is not run as well as in other sectors that are not predominantly Black. And it's not to say that we can't do better, but we should be intentional. We should be intentional about learning systems and processes and things that are going to deliver a high quality of service to our stakeholders, to our customers. And we can do better when it comes to that. I've heard a lot of people have things to say about, well, Black businesses, right? There's this this little joke, right, about whether or not you open up during your business hours. You open up on time and people come to your establishment when you're supposed to still be open and you haven't already left. Like those are integrity issues. And we have to have that spirit of excellence. We just do. And it's in us. When we know better, we do better, right? But abandoning our own marketplace has been crippling ourselves. Yes. Like we literally hit ourselves in our own knees when we chased after everyone else's acceptance, and other communities brag about how many times their currency circulates in their community, and we are left out of that conversation. Why?
Because if you understand how the economy works, then you can use it to your own benefit. This is why they don't teach you how money works. They don't teach you. Most people can't even tell you what money is. Even folks that think that they know what money is. We can't. We don't know what money is. We don't know what value is. We don't understand how you have to even understand how this system works. And a lot of people don't even understand that. And it's done by choice. Because if you don't understand something, then they can do whatever they want. And then you're just subject to it. You just be like, oh, well, that's just how it is.
No, we need each other. That's I mean, I love Dr. Arikana's talking point about our survival depends on us working together. Like it, as cliche as it sounds, it literally is about who lives and who dies. That is literally what's at stake when we are not figuring out the trust puzzle, right? This morning before we went live, I was thinking about you, Brother Red. I was laughing because I'm like, Brother Red is the poster child for I don't trust nobody. Brother Red got the side eye on everybody until you prove him otherwise. And part of that has been necessary for us to survive in a place where everybody hates us and we've been taught to hate us. Me, on the other hand, I'm overly trusting. I'm super trusting, right? And I've always learned how to partner up with people like Red to protect me from my own trustingness, because people are out here trying to get you got, right? And that's it's the same here here in the United States as it is abroad. We have to have a healthy skepticism, but at a certain point, after you have done your due diligence, after you have invested time in some relationship building, after you have inspected some fruit, that trust barrier, you're going to have to, number one, trust the Most High so that he can lead you and guide you into the relationships that will not harm you. Part of the reason why I understand that I have to be a trusting person because of the lane that I'm in. I have to be open. I have to be vulnerable. That is how I connect. That's how I help people heal. But you do have to rely on each other, and that's why, you know, when Brother Red or Brother Mike, they start growling. I'm like, okay, let me slow down and let me look and let me trust what these brothers are sensing so I can reevaluate whatever they growling about. What we have been building here at Quest Unite Africa is a relationship brain trust where we are honoring the personalities, the gifts, the talents, the calling, and even respecting our own weaknesses so that we can develop an interconnected economy of trust.
Yes. Exactly. Because when it's you can't go to war with somebody unless you trust the man next to you in the foxhole. You know, you have to have that trust. And this is why the Most High is really, even now in our midst, amongst all of us collectively as the whole diaspora, he's doing a shifting. You're going to start seeing, you know, the sides start forming. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, we're all getting divided. It's the dividing of the wheat from the tares. Those that want to stand up to that's going to stand up to the system, is going to follow and hear the voice of the Most High, and those that want to hear the voice of the other voices that they want to follow, the other ones that sound nicer and much more sweeter to the ears and give them warm fuzzies on the inside. But that's not where we're at right now. And we have to, you have to look at everybody. It's kind of like I look at it like the Matrix, where he told them, when you're locked in, you got to watch out, because some folks are still so connected to the system, they'll fight for it. They'll fight to protect it.
My goodness. That'll preach right there, bro. Yeah.
You got jokers that'll sabotage what you got going on because of their own silliness and blindness and dedication to the system. So, it's not that, a lot of the folks, I'll say it like this. A lot of the people that are coming in with the businesses, they have been with us in the trenches for the longest. So when you come in, just know nothing comes easy. That we have to move everything with a wisdom, and we all have to move that way in this time. We can't move like everything is regular. We have to move with wisdom. Is it tiring sometimes? Absolutely. But this is why the Most High told us to move and not be weary. Yes. Not to faint and be weary and well doing, because it will drag you down, because we're not meant to be this way. But we know that there's something better coming, and to the point where all this will be worth it. So it's don't shy away from temporary troubles don't shy away from long-term troubles for a temporary solace. That would be my advice to you. Don't shy away from the long-term trouble just to have some comfort in the here and now. I'll put it that way.
That's good. Yeah, it's absolutely true. And I love the context that you put in Red, with respect to, who loves this system so much that they're willing to fight for it, even to the betrayal of their own people. We look, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. I'm sorry. It's just that is what it is.
Django's biggest ops wasn't the slave masters.
It was Stephen.
Every kind of rebellion, slave rebellion, revolt, anything that's happened, it was always one of us that came in and stopped it. The Black Panthers was going strong until the government used one of us to cause wedges and cause problems. Malcolm X wasn't shot by a white man. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and that's why that's why we are in the business of inspecting fruit. we are building a mastery of fruit inspection because we need each other, but we have to walk with each other in wisdom and in unity. And I remember when Brother Michael said a year ago, y'all, remember he was like, y'all, we got to develop a sensitivity to frustration. When you ever feel frustrated, stop.
Mm-hmm.
We had a board meeting, and he went through everybody in the meeting. He said, "Do you feel frustrated, Brother Karis?" Yes. Do you feel frustrated, Sister? Yes. Brother, do you feel frustrated? Everybody voted yes. He said that we need to stop here and we need to seek the Most High for answers because it's too much frustration and we're not going to be able to move forward.
That's right.
That's what makes the difference in being a faith-based movement, because that respect for the Ruach, we know we can't push past it. Like, hold on now. Or as Brother Michael was saying, I wish he could come back on here. Hold on now. Wait a minute now. Hold on. We're not moving forward until we get this strife from among us. Right. Because the Ruach does not operate in strife. The Ruach operates in shalom. So until we restore peace in our relationship, we go nowhere.
And that's the most key thing. I have to go and give Caesar his due.
Thank you, brother Red, for that. Yeah, I got to get up on out of here. Also, family, I appreciate you all's prayers and support. You know, and I appreciate our Q2UA board, our volunteers. I'm going to tell you, they have been able to hold it down. When I said I didn't think I was going to even be able to entertain a live, you know, for a couple of days. It was about a week, and I said, well, what about you all jumping on and, you know, we could have a fundraising week. They're like, okay, well, let me, since Ashara first, she says, let me check my schedule because I'm doing this. Brother Red's like, I got to see what Babylon will let me do.
People starting to figure me out now. I'm starting to get added to more meetings. I don't like it.
Don't let them get up on you like that. Yes, family, remember QuestUniteAfrica.org. Nature's Legacy Guardian is a strategic partner of Quest Unite Africa, bringing the gift and the talent of the kingdom to sow a seed of knowledge that is going to grow a huge harvest that will benefit the continent in this transition that our people are making in our return home. And so please visit QuestUniteAfrica.org to support our strategic partner. If you are a business, we'd love to know how we can support your business here at Quest Unite Africa, how we can do business together, and how we can find mutually beneficial arrangements. And this is very important. Like, we're walking our talk here. We are spending more time serving each other here than taking from each other. And so that is what we're on. And you know what, Brother Karis, it's an honor that you yielded your platform to allow us to support you and to serve our community this week.
Yeah, no, that was a big risk. I said, oh boy, am I going to get shut down next week? Oh boy. Brother won't even be able to have a platform. Like, I'm just trying to read the word. I can't even do that now.
It'd be like that. But I have to make my leave. I gotta go. I appreciate y'all for letting me come on and irritate y'all this morning.
Blessings, peace and blessings.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. With that, especially in these impromptu times, yeah, I gotta get rolling also. So I'll close this on out with some credits. some videos. I don't even know what videos they've been showing. I see all this stuff that's been uploaded. No. So, all right. So with that, we will be on tomorrow with a special guest for our last day, and we will be excited to present them and the awesome opportunities that this provides. So, with that being said, shalom, salama, siyemi, shalom, peace and blessings, Yasharel.
What were you taught about marriage? Did it have you properly prepared for the journey or desperately frustrated looking for the nearest escape? I'm Shar, founder of Law for Love, the most special place in the legal system in Atlanta. And after navigating families through the court system for more than 13 years, we are now taking those lessons learned to serve and support families to build healthier, happier, more purposeful marriages. Join us live on YouTube at Law for Love ATL Monday nights for our family meetings. Yes, grown folk discussions.